Hello, welcome to the Everything is Black and White podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and later on our podcast channel. I'm joined by Lee Ryder down at Craven Cottage where Newcastle have beaten Fulham 2-0 to see out the season. And Lee, it felt very much like the final game of the season. That's the way it played across on TV. How would you sum it up down there in West London?
Well, it looked from where I was sitting, it looked like they made a little bit of hard work of it, to be totally honest. Obviously, they went 1-0 up in the first half, couldn't build on it, and Fulham were still in the game right until the end when they got the penalty. But look, I think Newcastle didn't really need to step out of second gear too often. But overall, a win's a win. Newcastle would have taken this scenario earlier in the season when they looked, staring relegation in the face. This was dubbed as a relegation decider at one stage, and they've come away with 3 points, and they've ended up finishing 17 points clear of Fulham. So it's been a remarkable recovery since the international break.
Most certainly has. And Joe Willock got another goal today, his seventh in 7 consecutive games, equaling the record set by Alan Shearer back in '96. A great achievement for him, and it just goes to show why Steve Bruce really wants to bring him back this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Steve Bruce was embracing with Willock at the final whistle. Hugs and putting his arm around him. Obviously, would love him to stay. Possibly the worst thing Newcastle have done is said how much they want to sign him. But look, overall, he got the goal. Credit to Jacob Murphy for battling away in the corner to get it. But then it was a fantastic run. There was a lot of hard work to be done. And Willock, curled home and got his 7 in 7 games.
And Newcastle made a bit of hard work of it, but for all the pressure Fulham had really putting cross after cross into the box, they didn't really test Martin Dubravka, did they? And the defence seemed to handle the aerial bombardment quite well.
Yeah, they did. There's a few nervy moments, but Dubravka was pretty ice cool. You can see why Steve Bruce wanted him in the team so much. He shrugged off an injury in midweek to play today, and he's a cool customer, and Newcastle needed him during some of the testing times in the second half.
What did you make of the fact that Newcastle didn't really have a recognised striker on the pitch to begin with? Brought Dwight Gale on, and he scored at a great header and it went over the bar. That system kind of worked without a recognised striker.
For me, I prefer 2 strikers on the pitch, let alone 1. So, yeah, it was probably a system that was built to use on the counter attack. And when you've got people with the pace of Saint-Maximin and Almiron, then they can certainly do that. But overall, I think we all like to see strikers on the pitch. Today, we didn't see that until Gale come on. But Gale, for me, needs a long run in the team. He's come on the sub twice now. And he's looked a little bit lacking sharpness, and I think if he's having a run in the team, then he buries a header like that. So he did okay. I think he wanted to take the penalty, but there's a few of them that put the hand up for that before Fabian Schar rolled home.
Yeah, very cool penalty as well. I was shocked to see Schar take the ball. Many people thought Willock might take it and get the 8th in a row. What did you make of Schar's penalty?
It was a decent take. I think he's done the job for Switzerland, hasn't he? In penalty shootouts and things. So probably not a surprise. Maybe it was a little gesture to get him to sign his contract, show him how much he's loved here, and hopefully he can go on next season here and be one of the main men.
And he was drafting Sean Long. Praise for him. For them to be in the partnership in the centre of midfield.
I think they worked hard throughout. You look at Sean Longstaff, it was an opportunity for him. He took some punishment in that midfield battle, but overall I think Shelvey and him work well, but they're going to have options if they do end up signing Willock, and we'll see what happens with that midfield area going in the summer.
And just finally, I mean, to finish 12th, to get to better the points record of last season, after that Brighton game, no one would have predicted that. So it's been around, and I mean, I guess he will be probably quite happy at where they finished after what was a horrible run of form.
Yeah, well, they've ended up finishing closer at the top end of the table than the bottom in terms of points. It just shows you if they won certain other games this season, add another 10 points on that. It's a different season altogether, and Newcastle have done well since that national break. They had a decent start to the season. It was always the middle of the season that was a problem, and hopefully they've got something to build on for next season.
Thank Craven Cottage. You can have to Bruce, and you can head for these match reports once again season.